Dallas Cowboys were able to win their playoff game despite a major snafu in special teams against Tampa Bay. And as the Cowboys are preparing for their upcoming game against the 49ers, hoping to find gold in Northern California, this weekend, that game, the big game, it'll be the highest-rated game in the NFL because every game with the Cowboys is the highest-rated game in the NFL. And so as we have the calm before the storm, we took a look at the transaction wire in the preamble to the divisional round. And if you have not heard yet, if you have not been listening and you missed it, or maybe you were listening and you weren't paying attention, we have learned the Cowboys have said, you know all that stuff we said about not adding a kicker? Surprise! Ta-da! Yeah, they have signed a kicker, Tristan Vizcaino. Who? Tristan Vizcaino has been signed to the practice squad. This after kicker Brett Maher made NFL history by the aforementioned 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 missed extra points. And also after Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy both gave votes of confidence in saying they're going to stick with their kicker. The GM and coach said it. They said it. They said it. They didn't do it, but they said it. All right, so let us discuss. The question, how do you interpret the Cowboys signing a practice squad kicker? So my views on this, I've got premium kielbasa and common cold. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a Texas-sized cowboy hat. One of those 10-gallon hats is what we're going to make. So first of all, the hangover has worn off. Fair to say. Hangover lasted a day, and then the next day it's back to business. In the heat of the moment, Cowboy brass enjoying that dopamine hit. They acted like they had won the Super Bowl by beating a losing Buccaneer team with a 45-year-old quarterback. They were so giddy with excitement that they were never going to consider signing a new kicker. And this is why we always warn you. And many people get upset. I get angry emails. Why do you question what these people say? Why would they lie? These are good people. These are football coaches and general managers. And I don't want to listen to you. You just do the overnight show. Why would I listen to you? These people are honest. Yeah, okay. Gullible, 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 gullible. So after that wore off, the afterglow of that victory, which is still continuing, the afterglow, but they had to get back to business, the Cowboys have decided to let calmer heads prevail, and they have revisited the kicking conundrum, and this is obvious. This is what we call an insurance play. Not progressive, because progressive's good insurance. All right, that's good insurance. This is flimsy, undependable, fly-by-night insurance. Jerry Jones is paying the premium, but not an expensive premium. But he's paying the premium on this policy, and it's giving Jerry access to another kicker, giving him an option. In case Brett Maher, from what I understand, sucks in practice. Not a game. We talked about practice. So the Cowboys are going to run him out there today and then on Friday. So Thursday and Friday, end of the week here. And if Maher is still shanking kicks and it's wide right, wide left, and off the goalpost, at that point, if the meltdown lingers, then we got something. He doesn't want, though, Jerry Jones, however, to pay the deductible to cover the cost of the damage. Dallas, they are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea on this one because the contingency plan B, this guy Vizcaino, now he's bounced around. He's played for several NFL teams. Most quarterbacks are most kickers are vagabonds. But Vizcaino, he was with the Chargers last year, and he was not only a kicker, he was warm garbage in hot July weather. You know that smell rotting garbage makes on a hot summer day, late July, early August? Yeah. Or September for that matter. And he was bad. And he missed his last opportunity to kick extra points. He had 15 extra points attempted with the Chargers. He was 10 of 15. Most recently, from what I was reading about this cat, Vizcaino, who the Cowboys added, he was on the Patriots roster. He was signed as a kickoff specialist. Doesn't sound to me like the Rock of Gibraltar, but what do I know? I just do the overnight show around here. Now, that's the ambulance standing by to give CPR to Jerry World's special teams. Now, page 2. Should the Cowboys be loyal to Brett Maher or make a change? So this is where it gets dicey, because the answer, and there's a great poetic quote that goes back to like the 1500s, which has been repeated for many, many years here, that all is fair in love and war, and we'll tack on football. And Brett Maher should be guaranteed nothing. Right? He had a fine regular season, but you cannot just overlook what happened on Monday night. That would be foolish. We all have bad days. I get that. You've heard the show. I have many bad shows, usually 4 or 5 a week. But that's not just an one-off. That's not just a hiccup. That's choking on a kielbasa in front of 30 million people. The worst performance in the statistical history of the NFL, which goes back to like the 1930s. They have records going back to the 1930s, and that's the worst performance. Because of that victory, though, this always happens. You overlook that. You're like, well, it's the great cologne, the body spray. Not body blow, the body spray. The missed extra points were body blows. The body spray was that they won the game in Dallas, and kickers are not real football players. They're the most replaceable person in any sport. A kicker. They're specialists. They're idiots, idiot kickers, and go on and on. All right, final thought. So in the shadows, Dallas, their special teams coordinator, John Fossil, his name, he used the Y word when describing his kicker. So let's go to the audio tape, as Warner Wolf said back in the day. Here is the special teams coordinator of the Cowboys, John Fossil, explaining what's going on with his current kicker, Brett Maher.
You know, you wonder sometimes how you get into the yips, and you wonder sometimes how you get back into the hot hand. And I think it's keep, stepping up to the line and shooting that thing. We missed a couple of free throws yesterday. So it's a great question, Brad. I'm glad you asked it.
Thank you.
Whether
Ben,
it's,
actually. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I believe in the yips and I believe in the hot hand. And he had a hot hand. Let's face it. He only missed 4 kicks all season: a PAT, a 49-yarder, and 2 57-yarders. And then the yips happened. So I'd expect a hot hand coming up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not quite how it works. So the question is there a cure for the yips? So there is no proven cure. So the answer to that is N plus O. Now, there are some remedies. For example, in golf, this is the thing that really originated in golf. I'm sure it's been around since human beings have been around, but in the sporting world, we paid attention to it first in golf. And often it happens in putting, that you can be great at teeing off and you're wonderful at getting the ball, the golf ball where it needs to be, but that final couple of strokes when you're putting, debacle. And they tell golfers that have the yips, try using your other hand. So is it possible, I'm just asking for a friend, that Brett Maher would use his other leg to kick? Is that possible? Right? That's one of the cures. But it's much like the common cold. There is no cure. The sports medicine world has been attempting different things, and they believe that the yips are because of overuse of a certain set of muscles, but they're not sure. Right? They say it's the athletic version of writer's cramp. In gymnastics, it's called the twisties. Now, it's just involuntary, like a muscle issue. But this seems to be more of a neurological condition, which is also part of the yips, that the anxiety worsens, you miss a kick, and then you start suffering from more anxiety. You get pretty anxious that you're going to miss another kick, and you start overthinking it, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. They've gone as far in some circles in sports medicine to recommend Botox So those are the options, right? If you are the Cowboys, you can either have Brett Maher continue kicking with his other leg, give him some Botox, send him out to Beverly Hills to get some Botox, or that's it. And you talk about the 49ers being able to put the whammy on the Cowboys special teams. And I don't care if Maher comes out and hits a 49-yard field goal and an extra point in the first quarter. If that game is on the line, if it's a one-score game and it comes down to an extra point or a field goal, there is no Dallas Cowboy fan, not Benito, the Cowboy fan who's a super fan of the show, nobody who's going to be like, I trust that guy. Nobody. And if they say they trust him, they're liars. And those are the hidden yards and the points. The Niners do not need any hidden yards and points to go their way. But they certainly would appear, looking at what we have witnessed here, to have that advantage. And really, either way, because the Cowboys, the backup plan, let's say Maher goes out today and shanks a bunch of kicks and does it again tomorrow, then the Cowboys will be like, we've decided that Maher has some undisclosed injury that we didn't know about, and so then we're gonna twist it up a little bit, and we're gonna go with this other guy, Vizcaino, but he blows, and so good luck. Apparently, there's a shortage, a supply chain shortage of last-minute reliable kickers on the market.